Hi class, I wanted to give you some video feedback, and this is your first launch of your professional site. And you're not responsible for every page, but I will be looking at the primary pages that were due, and that would be your About page this week as well as your Contact page. I'm not going to look at the spelling, not in this video. You've had a little bit of feedback on that already. Make sure that you go back and see what that was and what changes need to be made. Always use Grammarly or some sort of spell check before you put anything on your website. All right. Oftentimes it's only things like commas, but they're important nevertheless. All right. Okay, so Michaela, so good to see you again. And I really think this is an adorable photo. This, I can see what you do, maybe a little larger here. But I think since this is more of a landing page, I think you want to say enter or something that lets us know how to get to your site, because there's no navigation here, and that's going to be really important. It's somewhat intuitive because there's no place else to, really click. But I just think what you've done with the colors is really nice. We have to place some of these images here, but again, this is the home, and you'll have a little time to work on that. So, but your About page, I have seen this before, and again, you're just going to check it and make sure it's fine. Try not to have one word on a line. Creates a little orphan scenario. And I think this month, try and get a few more professional photos so that we get a little less pixelating and a little more sharp focus, okay? And again, you can take your cell phone and walk around your place and look for natural light coming in, all right? That's a way that you can probably get some really nice professional shots, just as long as you're, watching the backgrounds and things like that, all right? But the layout's really nice, Michaela. Okay, so that's to come. Okay. I feel like maybe you created that. I don't know. This needs a little more contrast, right? The peach there is a little tough to read, so that's something that you'll want to look into. All caps is a little hard to read. Maybe it just needs a little spacing, or maybe only the primary words need to be capitalized. Maybe it just needs a little bit of line spacing, But it's not urgent. Keep it in mind. Is all I'm saying. Okay. All right. So I think what you do want is to have your name appear and what you do. Okay. So even if it's, in a font that's, works well with everything, it could be this font. Have your name here. Content creator. Okay. I do love the colors. They're really great. And I love it with this photo, which would need to be centered, I think, or recropped. But definitely let's take out at least one paragraph here so there's less scrolling. Okay, and this will come down a little bit. And okay, so you saw that took a minute to come up. You'll want to check that out, what that file is doing in the background. Again, that. And your social media icons, even if it's just LinkedIn, or perhaps there's a writer's site, or your Instagram where you can continue to upload things. Okay. And this does work well. Okay. You might be able to reduce a little bit but it's fine for what it is, for sure. It has everything that you need there. Okay. All right, so that's where you are. The theme and overall colors are really working for you. You may not need this page, but I understand why you like it, and actually it is working with everything else. So I look forward to seeing where it's going to be next week when you start to fill out your works page. Good start. Hi, Jeffrey. We took a look at this last night in class, and it's got a great feel to it. I really like the colors that you've selected for this. We talked about removing the phone numbers or replacing it with the Google Voice if you're calling out to someone. Otherwise, or if they can call you, because when you call out, we discussed that it may show up as a spam call. So unless they already have you in their contacts. So there's some pros and cons, but if you want to put it on your website and people are calling you, it may be better not to have your personal number there. The font is working here too, and this is a nice professional shot. Try not to have one word on a line. Okay. And this could just be your email here. Social media, let's see your contact. Yeah, even if it's just LinkedIn, okay, that's someplace where you'll have a little bit about your history as far as your work experience. So it can be very helpful, and people do expect to see that. Okay, so let's take another look here. I do love the colors. Okay. Okay, maybe a little space between here or one line taken out. I think if you have an Instagram, those are really great for photographers, right? You can also have a blog eventually where you put some of your photos, and it doesn't clutter your site, keeps it really organized, and you can go into many different directions. Yeah, I think a form would be helpful, especially since it can get very intricate as far as the kind of work you're going to be asked to do. So a form would get the ball rolling, getting you the information that you may need to begin to reach out, right? Well done. We talked about, the differences and things you could do, and I'm real excited to see where it's going to go next week. Okay. Stephen. Okay. It might be simple here rather than my goal here is. Perhaps it says your name, helping anyone who needs a video edited, or helping everyone who needs a video edited. Rather than spelling it out. There's a lot of empty space here. This image, I believe, is with the template, so you'll want to put your image there, especially if you're talking about being a video editor. You probably can also shoot, but consider that. You will want to, I think this font will work better here in your logo, something sans serif, and fill it up a little more. It may need to be an oval to have the same amount of padding all the way around. You can play with that. All right. Or if you want to keep, the elongated oval, that's fine too. But I'm not sure this font is actually working, and it's certainly not centered, and that's going to be important. Update this to 2022, and that is linked to you. Let's make sure we have equal padding around all of your text within buttons. Okay, so that's going to be important. We probably don't need the social media twice on one page, in this case 3 times. If you want to just keep it in the footer, that's fine. I think, or if you want to put it in the header, I'd move it over a little bit. Probably, I think, let me make sure that I'm centered here. I think you're going to want to make sure that this is centered. Okay, your navigation would be here, or you could push it over to the right. You may need that because you may want to put what you do here. Okay, and that would just be video editor. Okay, so yeah, you wouldn't need that there. I have seen, and we'll see this in this video, a LinkedIn with your about, but we really don't want to put it in two places if we can help it. Make sure this is a Google Voice number and not your personal number. Yeah, take that off. This may be where you talk about what you want to do, that what you have here. Okay. And bring that up, and you can put that more with your about. Okay, so it fills up the space a little more instead of that. Close that up a little and close this up a bit. You can put whatever you decide to do, whether it's your just your email or your Google number voicemail, which is free. You can put it in your footer and remove this, close that space up. Okay, the contact page is loading very slowly. I'm not sure that it's linked. Okay, so you'll want to create a contact page and make sure you have a form with that and that your email is linked. Okay, so fix this. Let's go to the beginning and see what we have. Okay, so this is the template. You'll want to remove that. Okay, remove the shopping page. You won't need this navigation because we have the hamburger navigation. So make sure you go to the mobile version and update, the navigation. Okay. Yeah, you'll want to remove that. You'll reduce some of the about copy because, that will help with less scrolling. And I think just place a video editor here. Maybe you don't even need that section. Maybe we just jump into this. But this background, it's not too distracting, but it might be when you take things out. You'll definitely have to close that up. Okay. All right, so you'll close that up and you will only have this in one place on the page. You'll take this away. You will have just two fonts throughout your site. How about that? One for headers and then one for body copy. If you want to use the body copy for your navigation, that's fine. If you want to use your headers font for navigation, that's fine. But remember, you can take this off on your mobile section, all right? All right, so you've got time to work on it, and a lot of it is just some cleaning up here and there. All right, good start. Okay, Brittany. And I'm looking at these as a first-time site visitor. Even if I've looked at them, I really want to see how it navigates, if it's intuitive, easy to understand, functions. I think what we can do, you're saying a clothing brand, so okay. Try not to have stock footage. If this isn't necessary, you'll want to take off the profile. I do like this page. I think this works. I wasn't sure. These are going to Wix currently, so those will have to be linked up to your sites. I love this image. I'm not a fan of putting your age. It doesn't really correlate to the amount of experience someone has or does not have, and it has to be updated. It's not evergreen. So I would consider taking that off. It's totally up to you. Some people may recommend that you do that, but it may be giving a little too much information. And some people, if they think you're young, they may try and take advantage of you and not give you, pay you what you're worth in some cases. Most clients are going to be amazing, but you do have to watch out for those. And one way to avoid it is not to put your age or your phone number. Okay. Perhaps you could edit this down a little bit, so it won't wrap like this, so it won't be so much to read, so we see right away. When you say the clothing brand, that lets me know that it has something to do with fashion, and so I think you can abbreviate these a little bit, take something out. Let's see. Even if it's fashion and brand strategist, if it's content and fashion creator, but I think we can narrow this down a little bit. I do like this. I like the concept a lot. And this is going here. Okay. Let's see. You might say about here, so that we're not sure what we're getting into. When I click this, I think I'm going to find out more about the eco-friendly aspect. And maybe that's true, but it isn't. It's not really going into that. So I would just say on that, about, because otherwise it's not really letting us know. The contact you have down here in the sitemap. Okay, we want a link up here for contact. And disable that altogether, I believe. Try and use terms that actually let us know what happens when we click on something. So in that case, this is going to say shop, because that's where it's taking us. And have a page there strictly for contact and have it linked to that page. All right. Yeah. So all of these are going to your about. Left align this. Let's see. Yeah, you're talking about your branding and directing and eco-friendly fashion wear. So those might need to split up a little bit. And again, I would make this one page because it's sort of just taking us back to the same place. Okay, so just make your contact with the form on one page. Try to change how this is wrapping. Sometimes that's something that happens on my screen after I've been looking at the sites for a while, so we'll see if that's the case. Okay, so double check that. That isn't necessary. Okay. Yeah, we've got kind of sales and shopping and then content creation, and we need to separate those. Okay. You might find a way to have them on the same site. I'm not saying they're not somehow related, but we need to narrow that umbrella. All right. All right. It's a great start. I don't mind this because it has a shape somewhat, but we would need to be consistent, and I think this one needs to be left aligned and probably broken into a couple of paragraphs there. All right. I'm really excited about it. I love the colors and the feel that it has. So I'm looking forward to seeing it come together. Okay, Emmanuel. Okay. Again, I would not put how old you are. If everyone wants to put how many years of experience they have, that might be fine. But it's really not helping. You know, if you want to say where you live and what you like to do in a very short, summary, that might be okay at the very end. Your last line may be what you really hope to do one day or something different that you're into, but mainly what you want to tell people is what they want to know about you. And maybe they want to know your age, but that's not even legal for them to ask you. So I wouldn't leave it on anyone's site. Okay. Of course, I could put that 29 and never update my site, and that might be awesome. Okay, so phone numbers again, make sure that these are Google numbers and that these are going to Facebook's instead of yours, so you want to check that out. And your projects, I'm not going to look at this page much. I will say that the background needs to come out. I'm just looking at your about. I can see exactly what you do, and that's great. How about an uppercase W there? And try not to have this wrap like that with one word down there, okay? I think you can fix that. A different image behind you. You're a digital cinematographer, so you probably have a shot somewhere that you can use. If not, then just have a solid, okay? But as great as these are, try and replicate this. If you have a studio or know a studio, if you can borrow for an hour, 30 minutes, go in, that's already set up, go in and take some photos, at least, with permission, they'll be your shots. Okay. All right. Okay. You may need to simplify this a little bit and watch how things are wrapping. Yeah, I think we can close this up just a little bit. Try and make this 2 paragraphs in this situation. Yeah, we just want to simplify. Only have what you need. This is not being scored. I'm just showing you how it's going to look. Okay. Consider choosing thumbnails that don't have text, okay, so that there's not a lot of busyness going on. And that you can see isn't quite working. We can't read that. But again, I'm not scoring that today. I'm just taking a look. And I know this is a very open design, but this is a lot of space. So maybe we just scooch it up a little bit and definitely bring up the bottom. Okay. All right. This should come together very, very quickly. Okay, Hector. So this is your navigation down here. We only need your contact once on a page. So this is a scrolling site, and the thing about that is that we still want contact so that we can go straight to where we need to find it. And sometimes that means adding another page. It's often easier because they go straight to the contact instead of when they select it, the site scrolls through everything, okay? And they have to wait for that. Your contact will be at the end, and that's where this would go. Only a Google Voice, and these are going to go on a project. If these are yours, they're going to go on a project page, okay? And your contact's going to be last. Okay. So this is a little too text heavy, okay? This would be a good place to have one of your images, and I don't know if this is yours. If it is, if this is, it's beautiful and would make a great banner up here. You wouldn't stretch it out or anything. You'd have to, crop it and work with it, but I believe that would be beautiful there. And this, yeah, that's your contact, but it says your name, and you're going to want it to say contact so that everyone knows it's what they're used to. And bio, okay. Okay, so not looking at, the work that is there, just looking at this layout, that's what you'll want to do. I would remove this, just have it on your contact page or in your footer, your email and your social. Maybe a LinkedIn would be good for you, and eventually if you have an Instagram that just has your photos. And this is going to be, yeah, that's going to come out, and your contact will be at the end. We may decide to move this up or move this over, okay? But I would try that. If that's your photo, or if you have a beautiful photo like that, then definitely put it here, okay? All right. Okay. So the mobile, you'll make sure that you close any gaps. Contact me about this because I want to know if it's yours. It's so beautiful, and I'd love to see more if that's the case. If it's from the template, then it will be removed. Okay, so this will be left align in your mobile, and probably, that's not too bad. Once you left align it, it might not be as long. Close all that. This is going to become your about section. Okay. I would call those projects or videos. Even video book is fine. This is going to come out and move down here anyway. Okay. That can go. I'm not sure what that image link is to. So great start. You have a lot to work with, and I have a feeling it's going to come together in a beautiful way. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Well done. Okay. All right, so we want to link these up, and to make sure it's not your personal number, again, a Google Voice can work. This might read, "Spark the light inside you." Although, maybe there's a cultural difference there that I'm missing. Okay. A little hard to read. This may need to be a little darker. And probably you can bring this margin in a little bit, and that will reduce scrolling. I know you're filling up the page, but maybe we don't need to fill it quite so much. Okay. Okay. So you'll want to put a little more space here so that you can anchor it right here, okay, for your contact page. Okay, we have it feels like we have 2 bios. So you'll want to remove all of this. Combine that with your other one to see, the difference. If this is your blog, yeah, we would move that over, I think. And that would be good for you. If you take all of these things, you're into some different kinds of things. So if you take all of these and put it into a happiness blog and move all those things over here, and then just have your contact there, like that. In your case, be selective, choose one or the other. Resources is fine. It could be even a drop-down menu. In your case, it wouldn't cover anything. Okay. All right. Eventually, if you have a photo that isn't tiled, that would be great. Eventually. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So you'll just want to work on some of that. This also, if you didn't want to make it a separate page, which I think I would, you could do more with it. If you didn't want to, you could link blog to this. But yeah, I would just keep this short as an introduction. I do love this quote. And have blog a separate page with all your different kinds of ideas and things that you do, okay? Let's look at the mobile. So, and this will give you an idea of what your scrolling page is doing. This is clean. Colors are working. That by itself is a nice photo like this. Okay, very inspiring though. Okay, you can see the overlay is difficult to read. And you could just select a color that you like from this palette of the photos, the peach. or the green, or one of the apricot colors, or rust. Rust might work well if you have a lighter shade like the peach, in the background. But we do need to be able to read it. Okay, all right. It's going to be nice when you're done. It's going to be a fun, happy place, all right? So keep going, and I look forward to seeing, those differences alone are going to really pull it together for you, all right? Good work. All right, very clear. I can see what you do. This background isn't helping. It's distracting. It's a stock image. So maybe just another shade of gray back there. Not this one, but a different shade. Okay. We need to link those up. Let's see. You'll want the contact page to be here. Okay, good. Okay, I do like that you have a gear page. Okay. I'm not sure you're going to be able to use the Sony name here. It's the only thing. If you remember your class, Art Design Location Shooting, you had to deal with intellectual property there, and you'll have that there. That's not scored today. Want to make sure that we've got your asset guides that tells us exactly what you did in these. It can just be something simple. Maybe you were just a cinematographer for all of it. Maybe you were the cinematographer and the editor, in which case you're going to say cinematographer/editor, right? You're going to let us know. And you're going to have a contact button here. Something that is going to be important for everybody, and that is having your navigation available. So many of you are going to want to freeze it so that, wherever you are, you can get to the top. All right. Or maybe it's going to be on the left, but making sure it's available. Probably don't need this. You could disable that. Okay, so let's take a look here. And eventually you might want, initials, JLR or something up here. It's not that the photo isn't nice, but we can't see it when it's reduced to this size. And you'll want to work with the layout for your mobile, left align, paragraph text. We do that because it's easier for the eye to return to the same place. And good, you don't have your number there. And you'll need a contact link for sure. Okay. All right. It's going to be a lovely and useful site. All right, Terry. Looks like you've done some of these things. Yep, you removed the profile. Good. Let's see, do we have a contact page? I know the template doesn't come with the contact, so you're going to have to add that as a page. Okay. And go ahead and link your socials. Try and simplify the colors that we're using if you're going to use this particular template. And you'll see this again. Well, actually, it's another class that has it, but you'll want to stick with this green in other places, like maybe back here. just to be consistent if you're going to use this template. So let's see, what was this? Okay. Okay. All right, and you did that according to your check mark. Is this the spelling that you have here? I know it keeps coming up. TV, capitalize that. So go ahead and put it through a screen check. Hard to read. I think that we may need to remove the photo, and I think bring this up a little bit so we have some space, some black underneath this. And once you change that, if you're going to use the green, then change this to green and change this to green, although this isn't your template. I mean, I think this is from the template and not your logo, so that can go. But this could be in green, your initials. If you want this in green, that would be fine if you remove the image here. So that's something that you could look at. It's going to look different, but it's going to tie together. So this would be the same color green. This would come out. This would raise up, so you've got some spacing, some padding, black padding there. Okay. And you could even, if you wanted to, you could try an overlay of that bright green in a very low transparency over this image and see what it looks like. See if it also ties things together. Okay. 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 All right. So, just need to link to this. And I want to bring it up a little bit. All right. Again, let's not underline that. It looks like it should be clickable, but it isn't. Let's take this number off. Okay. All right. You're pulling it together. If you're going to have your YouTube button, let's put it at the bottom so we're not sending people away from your site immediately. This is the aesthetic you're going to pull together, okay? This color, like you have it here. Okay. And just always use the spell check, all right? And use the same fonts, the same font style, okay? All right, it's going to come together. All right, Darian, I do love this image. It's quite striking. Make sure this is a Google voicemail or not your personal. Nice clean site, films and videos. You tell us what you do. Okay. Consider if you have a thumbnail that is more in line with the images on your homepage when you get to this section. Something that is as inviting as some of these, right? Okay, something as colorful as that. I'm not saying that video has something colorful, but if there is something, that might be something to place there. Okay. Let's center the content at the bottom. Okay. And you'll probably go ahead and make that your Gmail instead of your student mail. That's everyone. Okay. Keep your header fonts consistent. You have that. These are all caps except your contact. So let's make that the same, and let's use the same header style throughout. Okay, so you can see you're going to want to crop a little differently. And watch how things wrap, and put at least one social media link that is to your own account. Try not to have one word on a line. Close that up a little bit, and you want to anchor that. So a little bit of scrolling to get into the main idea. So you may want to edit things down a little bit. On the mobile, you may not even need this. You might be able to just say, let's chat, and close this up a little bit. Maybe have one line there, or yeah. You can put your social in the footer, all right? Good start, good start. Okay. All right. It's going to be a fun site. Fun pictures. Okay. Nice. We may want something that is a little less, not quite so pixelated here, fuzzy. A little better resolution. Maybe you can take it through Photoshop and kind of smooth some of that out. Yes, it'll be blurry, but that's okay because it's the background. But that might help. This is nice and sharp, but it's someone else's, so not as useful to you. Okay, this background is getting in the way of your work. Okay, so not the place for that. This will have to have a little more high contrast as it does here. Make sure you're double checking everything in Grammarly. Close some of the spacing here. Yeah, make these the same font, same weight. Okay. I do like this. I like your logo. Okay. Let's make sure that's not your personal number, phone number. It's nice and simple. I do like the red and the black for you and the white. Okay. Have that. Nice. Okay. I like this, if that's yours. The treatment is good. If that is yours, and then I would remove this and just go for these primary colors. You know, the red and, you know, this look. This is so engaging that you could just have a simple white background. Yeah. But let's take the photo out because it's really distracting from your work, okay? And this image, it's not really relevant to what you're doing. Let's see. Okay. And then you'll want your about. After you get it all laid out, you'll see where it lands, and then you'll want to anchor it to the right place. Okay, and that's good. This is anchoring just right. So let's take a look at the mobile. This is a little hard to read, the navigation, so you'll want to look at that. Contrast. This needs to be a little brighter, a little easier to read, maybe in bold. Maybe. And it's because of the image that's making it difficult. This is not easy to read, a little busy. You see how this is breaking when we wrap? That's something to look at. This particular way of showing skills doesn't really communicate just how well you know something. It's only comparative, like you know something better than something else. But if you look at Photoshop and things, they have terminology that they use for different levels. So that would be more indicative of your skill set and where you are in that than these. I know it comes with the template, and it's kind of nice because it has a little animation, but they don't really tell the client what they need to know. And so unless it's super clear, it's probably not worth trying to fix. And we'll look at this again after you spend a little more time. You've not had a lot of time to work with it. This is working out well. Interesting how that does that. Great, great. It's going to look really strong when you're finished. So there's that green again that works really well with your work examples, your projects, which aren't loading here. Yeah. Consider going to a simpler background instead of these images. Even if it's just this gray or, a green. Although green and red aren't going to work well together. The gray could be here. This color, if you like it. All right, I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes. Let me know if you have any questions, and contact me, and we'll get inside a Zoom. We'll record it and send you a script or whatever you need, all right? Great job. Okay, Erica. All right. And is this linked? Okay, your socials still need to be linked up. That's important this week. Let's look at your about. Okay. Again, I'm just not a fan of including our age. That's for everybody. Okay. Okay. Let's update. You don't want to have your address there, so let's just take that out. Gmail, good. Let's make sure it's linked up, and then take the phone number off unless it's a Gmail. I mean, a Google Voice. Some people aren't comfortable leaving their phone number, so that's probably something you can omit. And the map, I wouldn't use the map. Close this up a little bit. Go ahead and put your Instagram there. It's all right that you have it here if that's your primary marketing avenue. And if that is your feed, but this is template, so that needs to be disabled. And you can take this off and just put your name at this point. So what everybody will do is duplicate their site and then add the feedback that they receive for their edits. Okay. We want to stick to the same fonts, the same size for headers and body copy. A little hard to read there. Let's have the same spacing, right? Whether it's centered, but have it the same throughout. And watch how things are wrapping. Okay. You could just say services here, that would be fine. Yeah. Let's put your work here instead of the template. Let's left align. And once you left align, we'll see if it needs to be cut. If there's a lot of scrolling, you may want to cut that. Yeah, we'll take some things out there that we discussed. So, yeah, I love the colors. It's going to be really nice in the next couple of weeks. So I'm excited. Travis. Okay. One of the things that is pretty important is trying not to cut faces off. Let's see, make sure I'm looking at this, the actual size. Okay. So that's going, those are linking to your personal sites. I won't look at the branding yet on those. Okay, so when you're scrolling, this is with the template. Nice job there though. Let's not underline this. It just feels like it should be clickable. And so, you know, I know it's probably with the template, but this background might be a little busy, and it will slow your site down. Anytime there's videos, it's going to slow things down. Everything has to be optimized. Let's make sure all of your videos and your work is in a grid. So you have it here, you know, and these, I guess, are your Instagram feeds, but up here, not so much. So it would be nice to see that difference. And let's see if we can, you know, watch how things are wrapping here. But good job including, you know, your asset guides here. That's nice. Okay. That's a great color there. Yeah, we don't see those until we roll, and I'm not sure that's going to work as well. Look at how this is dropping down. Maybe that needs to come up a little bit so we don't have that little bit of black there. I mean, it's okay when we have a solid color. It seems intentional. Okay, you can take this off, I believe. Make sure you are using your own logo. We'll need a contact page with this particular template. Okay, so when we go to your about, we really want it to land right there, okay? If it's cut down a little bit, then your image is going to be a little higher, and that's going to be better. But again, that's a template. I do like the colors, so that's something to think about, but not your work, and so that's important as a photographer, that it be yours. Okay, good. Yeah, so contact page would be the easiest thing to do and have it just go straight there. The other thing is just where the videos are landing initially. Okay. All right, but other than that, we see exactly what you're doing, and that's really cool. I'm not seeing, don't know why, if it's your get feedback, I'm not seeing your mobile. So maybe what we want to do is bring this up a little bit, close this up so we can bring in your videos a little higher. We'll close this space up a little bit. You could move this to here and bring it up quite a bit. So that's one way to do that. Okay. Left align your about copy. That can probably just come out of this page, your mobile. Let's see. Maybe center that. Put a LinkedIn for sure. maybe a little bit of space here. You can see we're losing some of your buttons here, the watch the reel. Okay, so you'll see that some things just need to be rewrapped and reworked. Okay, take that out. Yeah. Okay, so it's not hard to work in the mobile section. And it will come together. But after you make your revisions in your desktop, that's when you want to go back to the mobile because it will affect it, of course. So you might as well make those revisions first in your desktop and then see how they've changed, all right? All right, everybody, so thrilled with where you are. It's just week 1, and for some of you, it's your first web class, and you're going to be able to pull this through in the next couple of weeks, and I think that you'll be very happy with what you've been able to accomplish in such a short time, all right? All right, everybody, I look forward to seeing the rest of your assignments this week and getting to know you even better.